Can you please tell me your name and your specialism?
I'm Alexis Ohanian, and I'm a startup guy. Reddit, Breadpig, Hitmonk, and I'm also the ambassador to the East for Y Combinator, and lover of the internet.
Lover of the internet.
Yes, we've been together for a little while. I'm thinking of making it official. I might propose this year. We'll see. But
Your love goes very far. How far?
I'm thinking of making her an honest woman this year and proposing to the internet. We'll see. We'll see if she says.
It almost sounds like if you're going to have a child, it's going to call.
Oh gosh. HTTP. That's what I'll name him or her.
I heard you, heard you telling something about the power of the audience.
Yes.
Can you tell our watchers a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, there have long been these dreams of what a connected web would do for people. Where 15, 20 years ago we had all these idealistic hopes and dreams. We still have those idealistic hopes and dreams, but really in the last couple of years we've seen emerge, this incredible connectedness. I think we really hit this tipping point, sorry Malcolm Gladwell, like in the last year, where there are so many people who are now living so much of their lives online and so connected that you can have an idea, a message, whether it's for a company or a nonprofit or a revolution, spread now to enough people that it generates enough attention that this becomes something in the mainstream.
So everybody's living on and in the internet, but is there also a dark side on it?
Oh yes, well there is, I think one of the things that's really impressed me of late are all the startups that are now connecting people in real life, that are finding ways to use the technology to be a way to, say, rent out an apartment or share your car or travel, or you meet someone new when you travel.
Well, that's a good idea.
And it's great because I think at its core, this technology like the internet doesn't replace human connection. I hope no one would for some of us, I spent a lot of time playing World of Warcraft, and for a little while it replaced human connection. But for the most part, it's just a wonderful communication platform, and it's a wonderful way to get these ideas out and to make inefficient markets efficient. So it could be the market for space, it could be the market for people who cook food, it could be the market for people who can teach a class on how to make an alpaca rug. Like that's the awesome power of it, and the awesome power is really just in us and using this technology to connect us.
So the real power is inside.
It's always been in the people, always.
Right, I have another some kind of a practical question.
Okay.
After you, there's coming a big next generation of creative designers. Those guys are watching right now.
Yes.
Is there something you want to tell them?
Yeah. All right. Well, the guiding principle, so when Adam and Steve came to me and said, we want to do a travel startup, can you help us? And this was Hitmonk. I was like, all right. And so I joined about 2 weeks before launch. And what I saw there, this is before we even had hotel search, it was just flight search. And I saw this agony sort. They originally wanted to call it suckage, but suckage doesn't really sell well. And they were like, we're thinking of calling it agony. And I said, you guys don't realize that's brilliant. Like, we're going to take the agony out of travel search. That's genius. You don't even realize it, but that's brilliant. Seeing how you could take this thing that was just generally assumed to be a solved problem in design. People thought, you search for travel, you get a list of results. That's just how it should work. Anytime you see such a status quo, I think as a designer, it's an opportunity to destroy it, because people have just accepted that this must be how it's done, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's a sign that no one's thought about fixing it. And there's a good chance, a very good chance, that if you just throw out whatever that existing model is and really just think like, let's start from scratch. I want to get a flight from New York to Amsterdam. What's the most efficient way, the most beautiful, elegant, simple way for me to get those results and then buy my ticket? Because that's all I want to do, is think of a great solution for a customer. And if you see there's so many startups winning by design right now, that it's a great, I think programmers are still the hottest commodity in tech, but designers are right behind them. And design is no longer, I think 6 years ago, 7 years ago, it was dismissed as, it's a sugar coating, it's not that important. Apple admittedly has a lot to do with it. But also in terms of the web design front, so many startups have shown, and Hitmonk's just one small part of it, that if you can execute a really beautiful, simple, elegant product that just solves a user's problem well, you can win on that alone.
You're working in a team, and you got a couple of other guys, you just told, and you just, the thought pops up and you think, this is a great idea. But how do you convince those other guys?
Well, okay, so this started with Adam he had been booking way too many flights for his debate team, and he was just frustrated with how annoying it was. And so he convinced Steve that there was a way to make it better. Steve was like, okay, we'll see. And at the end of the day, you just build. And if you can build something and show it to a person and say, look what I've done, this actually works, even if it's ugly, even if it's basic, just show, like, here's a better way to think about this problem. Yeah. That's compelling. As an investor, when I meet with startups, I now actually require that they have at least a prototype, because it's hard to just talk about stuff, right? You could talk about stuff for a day and not get anywhere. I want to see something that you've actually built. It doesn't have to work well, it doesn't have to be lovely, just build it so that we can actually discuss if this is the simplest way to actually pull it off.
You can try it and taste it and just feel it.
Yes, and the barrier is so low, it doesn't cost any money. Like, right? You need a laptop, an internet connection, and then you're writing code. You're using open source software. You don't need to pay any money for it. So just build stuff. And if you can make a compelling enough product, it took a second for me to be convinced that Hitmonk was the future, and the rest of it's just a cute chipmunk and the word agony. That's just polish on top, but the core of it, that was a product that Adam just showed Steve, and Steve was like, "That's great." Steve showed me, and I was like, "That's great." Like you don't have to sell a lot if the core product is a good thing, you don't have to worry about selling it because it sells itself.
Well, I get that. That's a one-liner. That's a one-liner.
It's very hard to build a great product. I don't want to trivialize it, but a great product sells itself, no doubt.
All right.
Online, especially and I forgot to mention this on the stage, you have such competition because everything, like
there's a lot of competition.
Cute cat photo is a click away, right? So anytime a user is looking at your website, you have to know that she is a back button away from leaving you forever. So you have to make a very good first impression, and you have to really cut out all the bullshit and just demonstrate value to a user, or they're going to that cat photo. Because they know they're going to get value out of the cat photo.
Yeah. If that's what you really want.
Everyone wants cat photos.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's catadvertising.
Yes, that's the future. That was a very good video.
Yeah, I've seen it. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for speaking to me, Ron.
It's a nice interview.